edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report, and we're live at the Horseshoe Cafe, Southport, Connecticut. Full crew in the house. How's everyone doing today?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. Tape 2 here at the Horseshoe. Crowd seems pretty riled tonight.
Oh, yeah. Everybody is fired up. Good to have everybody here, and nice to have Matthew here this time. Good to have you.
So sick.
Dude, love it.
Making his horseshoe debut.
Horseshoe debut. Here we are.
Test early.
This is an old system, too. So
We'll bear with it.
You know
for a
where
second.
it is. What page, Tony?
That should be page 1?
Yeah, no, it's not. So
Page 2?
No, you're wrong. Good job, bud.
I mean, we technically don't need the bike. I can just say
Go
it.
ahead.
Yeah. All right. So Brooks Koepka has won the 2023 PGA Championship at Oak Hill in Rochester, New York. His 5th major championship and his 3rd PGA Championship. So Brooks Koepka, after a 4-year hiatus, back in the winner's circle at a major championship, and obviously makes history as the first live golfer to win a major championship.
It is insane.
So what a tournament by Brooks, 9 under par, 2 shots clear of Victor Hovland and Scotty Scheffler. And I think something like this is only great for the game, the conversation, and just the fact, too, that it makes these major championships so much more exciting that we know the live guys can win. Because all the talk was they're playing 3-round tournaments.
Right.
They have no shot to compete in these championships.
Yeah, and not to sidetrack us a little bit here, but how about Barnes hitting the nail on the head with the pick here?
Let's go, Barnes.
I don't know, maybe second time so far this season, right? Third, maybe?
I think it was my first ever because I know you did it, but I'm trying to think what tournament I would have. Oh, man, it's tough. Yeah, because we picked so many tournaments.
It definitely wasn't John Rahm. I know that. It doesn't matter. No. But I'm pretty sure I recall talking to you about maybe you
Tony
going back
Finau?
to back.
Or no, Michael picked Tony Finau for that
a couple weeks ago. But still, for Koepka to come in here, again, you were saying, like, Live Tour. I mean, again, Koepka in general, in terms of his career, in terms of being doubted, choking in big spots, it's always been there. And then on top of that, him going to Live Tour, obviously all the, talks about that and the controversy with Live Golf. Certainly a lot of pressure been put on him. We saw him choke at the Masters too. I wouldn't say necessarily choke, but obviously, not perform the best his last day, losing the lead, stuff like that. So again, his, I guess, mental game, even, his physical game in terms of what his drive was looking like was in question for a while here. And Koepka, looking at his performance today specifically, I mean, he really kind of, increased his lead. He just kept his head down, stayed serious, stayed focused, came out with the win. And like you said, I'm sure he'll be boasting about it for some time to come now.
And I think we all can agree golf is in a better place when Brooks Koepka is winning big tournaments, because of what he brings to the course, the attitude, confidence, the controversy. I think it's so exciting. And me, I love like the history aspect of it. And I'll have to look it up, but I want to say maybe there's only 7 golfers that have won 5 major championships. So for him to join that group, and then it really does him a favor in terms of, and obviously with a win like this, his performance at the Masters, his world ranking points are already climbing. But the fact that now he has a 5-year exemption into all major championships. So being, Live, you only get the points when you play majors. So he doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great. And again, in terms of history, I mean, to be, one of 7 in the world of the PGA is pretty prestigious to kind of, hold your head up for that for sure. And then again, I mean, I feel like there was, we know about the backlash of the Live Tour golfers. This certainly was a big statement victory for Brooks Koepka, not only for him personally as an athlete, as a golfer, but for the Live Tour golfers in general. I think you're going to see a lot more maybe people looking at the tour in general, Live Tour, a little bit more seriously. And certainly those golfers, again, a lot of people thought, oh, they're just going to go over there, collect the paycheck, coast their way through.
They don't care about winning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Brooks Koepka is showing the exact opposite of that. And, we saw Phil Mickelson, again, like the effort for these players. I'm not sure where he placed this tournament.
Yeah, he struggled.
He struggled, But even so, his performance at the Masters.
Plus 10, tied for 58th. But Bryson DeChambeau, another live golfer, tied for 4th.
Nice.
Led this tournament halfway through. So that's just another name. Cam Smith finished in the top 10 at 1 under par.
Real quick, fellas.
Yes. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
We have comments here online. Hi, guys. I'm in AC. Early birthday for your mother. Been trying to call you. Call my number. Everybody watching. 20. It's on the dial there. So just call on.
Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
The 26th, 5 days is her birthday. Yes.
Mets, and then Befer says Mets turning things around. I predicted 10 straight wins for the Mets during
What do they have, 4 in a row now?
Series. I think it's 4. Yeah, 4.
4 straight wins?
4 straight wins, I believe. Yeah.
Yep.
So going for number 5 tonight, momentarily actually, 7:10.
Or 23 minutes.
23 minutes. And then in terms of my mother, I will call you. I'm sorry, but super busy. Michael,
call your mother. Call your mother.
I will call you, Mom. I'm not.
Call in now. Call into the show right now.
No, they're in AC. Just let them have a good time.
Are they at the Borgata, Tony?
They're definitely at the Borgata.
Are they
my
gambling
dad, definitely.
tonight?
The slots are hot right now, I'm sure. My mother on her machine. Naturally, my dad probably losing some money, so I'm sure they're having a great time, dude.
Oh, of course. And then Befer also did say Yankees are red hot. Great job, Boone. Keep it up.
Wow.
So the New York teams, getting things on track. We'll talk about baseball in a second.
But the golf.
Golf, honestly. I just thought it was such a great event. And I guess like you were saying earlier in the week, Tony, it does make it more special. The fact that there's only a tournament here every 10 years. Like, that's a long time to go.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so that's what makes these events so exclusive. And I think too, it's funny. At first, it seemed like such a bad thing. The guy's going to live. We're never going to see him. But you think in a way, it's almost made it better because we only get them together for these major championships. So it makes these major championships so much more exciting.
Yeah.
In that sense, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it. So much juice going into this. The 10 year, every 10 years are here.
Yep.
The pool of players. I mean, it's a phenomenal championship.
Yeah, it is.
And what great weather they had. And again, like we thought it'd be cold, rainy, overcast, horrible. Cleared up quite nicely. Today's beautiful. Obviously,
Great day for the final round. Nice, clear.
Great day,
good weather, dude. Good.
Yeah. After a terrible weather day yesterday, players were really struggling.
Right.
So just a couple more things to kind of wrap up this conversation. So in terms of round one with a 70 was further back on the leaderboard, but then 66, 66, and 67. And I think it was very important that he showed after the Masters collapse that he can perform in that 4th round, 67 on a tough course like Oak Hill. You'll take that any day of the week. Victor Hovland was right with Koepka all tournament, faded towards the end. We saw him hit that shot. I believe it was on 16 that got embedded in the bunker, had to take a drop. So that really hurt him. He's really one of those up-and-coming golfers that you would expect to have a major championship sooner than later. A guy who won his first major championship last season and the Players' Championship this year, Scotty Scheffler, had a 5-under round today, shooting 65.
Too.
I think Renee's
finished tied for second.
He picked up the win.
With Hovland and Scheffler both at tied for second. Rory ends up in the top 10 at tied for 7th after shooting 2 under today.
Right.
And then the story of the tournament, 46-year-old PGA professional instructor Michael Block finishes tied 15th and had a hole-in-one on the 15th hole today. And it wasn't a hole-in-one where it just rolled in the cup. It actually hit the flagstick and dropped right in. And for everybody who's not familiar with this, so basically just the PGA Championship, they have all the top 20 instructors of the world. They're part of the PGA of America, which I think Goose has ties to or whatever. And so they're not regular professional golfers. They're not playing in tournaments. They're just in like an average, not an average golfer, but they're not a tournament golfer. So for him to have a hole-in-one, finish in the top 15, all the golfers, you think there was 156 in this field, all that didn't even make the cut, and this guy finishes the top 15th. I mean, that's a job well done, and that's a story that anybody can appreciate.
Where is he based out of?
California.
Yeah. And he got on to this tournament just by...
So he was the instructor of the year last year.
Okay.
And I guess there's a qualifying thing, and this was his 5th PGA Championship. He had never made the cut. And he finished +1. So
that's so cool.
You never know.
I have faith in Barnes.
Michael, I know you always have. I honestly, I definitely appreciate that.
Trophy right now.
Hoisting the Wanamaker here, and I'm sure he's going to be talking some smack right now in this interview, saying to everybody that doubted him, of course.
Yeah.
So just a great event.
It's a great shot right there.
You just can't beat major championship golf, and we've seen some of the best golfers win these first 2 majors of the season. You think about Rahm at the Masters, the performance he had there, struggled in this tournament, but then Brooks Koepka, we've known for years, when healthy, when his mind is right, one of the better golfers. So he takes the 2nd major of the season. We got 2 more. Next month will be the U.S. Open at LA Country Club. So that's a venue that hasn't hosted a major championship in a long time. So that should be a fun one. U.S. Open, always one of the toughest tests. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top of that one. I can't wait, honestly.
Me either. And before you guys continue on,
I
see there's some delicious food.
Actually, we're going to start off with the drinks, I think. Our sponsor for and they're pros here as well. But we're drinking East Rock Brewing Company here, based out of New Haven, Connecticut, I believe, for what I recall. Renee, do we know what specific beer this is, by the way? I know it's East Rock. Don't tell me it's East Rock. She doesn't know. I don't know exactly what beer specifically. Sorry, what?
Mexican-style lager.
It's a Mexican-style lager. I was going to say it is smooth. It's crisp.
Very impressive,
It's
Renee.
a beer I like, which, and I'm not a big IPA guy. I enjoy the Pilsners and the lagers and the ales.
Yeah.
But this right here is delicious. It's very good. And right now we're running a nice promo here. If you're in the Horseshoe,
yes, if you
watching
come
the show,
physically here.
So if you're watching at home, come on down to Southport, Connecticut.
Yep.
Horseshoe Cafe.
Yep.
You order a beer.
Yes.
One of these East Rock beers.
Correct.
Pint glass for free.
It's yours.
This exact one. You
Yes.
bring it home. You enjoy it. You have a
Collector's
water glass
item.
forever, dude. Yeah, there's the limited.
Put it on your
So come on down here for a nice cold beer and a cool time. But the food, actually, that's
I'm honestly excited for this.
Food here is so good. It's not even funny.
We have a nice variety. Actually.
It always surprises me. We ate here for the first time last week, and folks, I'm telling you, if you haven't had it, order everything.
Honestly, dude. Dean really hooked it up today. We got some nachos.
Barnes actually
some
selected
buffalo
those
wings here.
I did my best. Michael with the touch with the wings.
Yes,
I almost forgot about that.
I'm super stoked.
I'm excited.
Try it, dude.
I'm going mott stick.
I'm gonna pop a nacho in here, and I wanted to maybe hear some crunch.
Excellent.
There we go. Yeah, hear the crunch. ASMR. Let's do the crunch, but not the munch. You know what I'm saying, boys?
Crunch,
No, nobody.
no munch. Crunching and munching.
Cheesy, salty.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it.
We can't. Was there some other giveaways too, Michael?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
For East Rock?
So we also have a gift basket, folks, and if you enter, you get a beautiful assortment of
A
beers.
chance to win, as they say.
A chance to win. Beautiful assortment of beers, some swag, and a can. And it's awesome. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow the Horseshoe Cafe's Instagram.
We really are good, dude.
Talk to Renee.
I didn't know they were at New Haven, by the way.
It's awesome. Local company.
Local company, dude.
Beat that.
Love supporting local.
Definitely good stuff, good beer, good
local
food.
companies, not local.
So I definitely recommend anybody who hasn't tried this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a great beer.
Oh yeah.
But let's go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
Oh wow.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one to win the ball game. Out of sight.
pitch at 100 miles an hour, 14 strikeout.
Drill deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So how the tides have turned. Both New York teams playing some of their best baseball of the season, and specifically the Yankees. I mean, it's really been unbelievable. We think back to, I want to say, I guess it was a week from this past Friday when I was on the show. I was at the game the day before, and they lost 8-2 to the Rays. It was embarrassing. We saw the bite. Matthew was, I mean, unbelievable. Couldn't take it. And it all started actually with the game you went to the following night against the Rays.
Big win. Rizzo, 2 home runs. Ever since then,
Yeah.
just keep on going.
Best record in the American League in May. We'll break
Like
down.
the best offensive team.
Real quick,
yeah.
though, boys. Real quick. We have a new fan, it looks like, in here by the name of Mystery Sauce. And they say, hey, guys, I would love some betting advice for my championship league. Champions League, sorry.
Champions
League, like soccer.
Uh-oh, Barnes' face. We gotta get that.
I mean, we might have to call Gino. Maybe we can get him on the line.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you, dude.
Yeah, couldn't tell you about that one.
So sorry. Don't bet on Everton. How about that?
But what I was going to say is, the Yankees were in Cincinnati starting on Friday this weekend, and they did get a sweep, which, one of those things you need to do. You need to take advantage of these weak teams. We saw the Yankees have one of the toughest schedules in the major leagues to start this season, but they've really turned it around recently. They actually have the best record in baseball in May, and the offense, I believe, the most home runs as well. So starting on Friday, they were able to defeat the Reds 6-2. And it was nice to get a win with Clark Schmidt on the mound. They'd only won one of his previous starts before. He gave them all he could, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. And then the bullpen, which has been, they had the lowest ERA in the majors, their bullpen. And this game, some of the top guys needed some rest. So you had Cordero, Abreu, Peralta, and Ramirez all give them an inning, and they gave up 1 hit. So anytime your bullpen from the 6th inning on gives up 1 hit, you're going to do some things right. Mm-hmm. And in terms of the offense, Aaron Judge, since he came back from the injured list, took him a couple games, but he's been absolutely on fire. He had a big home run to center field in the first. That made it 1-0. Matt mentioned Rizzo. He also has been on fire. Seems like this shift has really helped him out, making it illegal. His average is up there, and his power has been outstanding to start the year. Always a guy that we liked. We know we're working on Michael to become a fan of him, but we've always been big Rizzo people. That made it 3-0. Fraley did have a double, which made it 3-2 in the 6th. So that's when Schmidt was taken out of the game. But you had some insurance runs in the form of Kyle Higashioka with a double and Harrison Bader with a single to make it 6-2, which was the final score. So a nice 6-2 victory to start the weekend.
Bader keeps hitting 2.
Yeah, right. Bader keeps hitting it 2, and it just seems like
Schmidt finally pitched like decent.
Right.
Almost blew it.
Right. Almost
blew it. Gave it away there.
So it was nice to see that. Then we were on to Saturday, which was a 7-4 victory over the Reds. So another game where, the offense is going. That's the thing. We were struggling for offense, and that was the toughest thing. We knew the pitching, sure, you're going to have bad nights, but overall we knew the pitching would be there. But the offense had been struggling. And in this game, the Reds did get off to a 1-0 lead early off of Brito, who ended up, you look at his line, did struggle, but he's obviously about to be removed from the rotation with Louis coming back today. So he let up 1 run in the first. That made it 1-0. Judge in the 3rd inning singling to tie the game. And this was Ben Vort, his Yankee debut. You think about, he came over in the Sanchez deal, hadn't played at all these injuries. So he came in, Trevino with an injury. So he scored on that play. So that made it 1-1. Reds did answer back actually with 3 runs, capped off by a Molly home run to left center. That made it 4-1 Reds. But the Yankees in the 5th inning end up tying the game. IKF with a homer, Judge with a double,
one of the year.
Rizzo with a single. And that actually tied the game at 4. And this game actually went to extra innings, but the Yankees making a statement in the top half of the 10th inning, scoring 3 runs, a Judge single, and who else but an Anthony Rizzo home run. So just another home run for Rizzo. He's so locked in, average sitting over 300, slugging percentage over 530. You really can't beat that. And another game where the Yankee bullpen really stepped up. You think about how Brito gave him 4 innings and gave up 4 runs, and then the bullpen comes in and gives you 6 shutout innings. I think you're going to take that any day of the week. Marinaccio with 2 scoreless, King with 2 scoreless, Clay Holmes, who ended up getting the win, with his scoreless inning, and then Ryan Weber, who we saw come up big the other night against
100%.
Toronto.
1,000%, 1,000,000%.
Ended up getting the first save of the season. So it is amazing. Like, wouldn't you agree, Matt? Like, and you didn't expect this going into the year. We've had some injuries with Loaizaga that our bullpen is so deep. It doesn't matter who we're putting out there. They're going to get the job done.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. Everybody always is been stepping up, getting the job done. When called upon, you gotta be able to do the deed and be able to do it.
And we've seen
more than one.
We've seen Holmes, get opportunities in the ninth the last couple days.
Also, dude, yesterday though, Judge, dude, what a beast.
Oh yeah,
4, dude,
unbelievable.
Absolutely killing it, Tom.
Picking up where he left off.
Love it.
Last season, off to another hot start. So justifying, being a captain, being an MVP, getting the contract. And I was going to ask you, so, how like Holmes had struggled. Now they've started using him in the ninth again. Do you think they're going committee, or do you think there's an effort to get Holmes to be the closer?
Just go by committee. I feel like you got to go by committee. Forget about Holmes, dude. Just
like he can do it if his time comes up, but I think
I don't know, dude.
Just go by feel.
I think they're trying to push for him to be the closer.
I think so,
like
too.
really hard.
It
You saw it today too. And honestly,
Just go by committee.
I don't know. You want to go by committee, dude? Is
Yeah,
that what you want to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like the Yankees don't really go by committee often on certain players.
for a closer, they never have, literally.
No.
Right. So, I mean, it should be pretty interesting to see, what he could do. I mean, he got it done today, right? He closed today.
Mm-hmm.
Struggled, almost lost it, but in the end, got it done. So, I mean, I think he bought himself some time. I think he bought himself another shot at closing. I think you're going to see him again. And I think they're going to give him a little bit of a leash here. So it should be interesting to see how long they keep it up for, but I think it will be kept up. Question for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Collectively, as a team, over the weekend, the Yankees, against obviously the Reds pitching staff here, struck out a total of 30 times. Are you concerned?
No.
No.
Just win. And they've scored at a higher rate.
They have been.
Today, was a 4-1 victory, but that was their lowest scoring game. They had scored 6 runs and 7 runs the previous 2 games. No concerns whatsoever. Love what Rizzo's doing. Love what Judge is doing. Bader, after a hot start, had tapered off a little bit, but he's had some big hits the last 2 nights, which is really nice to see. So I feel great about the way things are right now.
Yeah.
I think that's for certain.
It was really impressive with the bullpen. Peralta looked good. Abreu looked good. I mean,
and I'm not a committee guy, but you think it almost makes the bullpen better having a committee, because then guys, you feel confident in whoever. A guy's not available, we can plug him in. Let's go.
That's the whole
yes,
thing, right
and I also think it just creates an atmosphere where a bullpen can feed off each other.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah, it just creates a good camaraderie, a good atmosphere for them. Yes, competitive, but I think in terms of a friendly environment, and it's regardless. I mean, if you're not closing, you're setting it up. If you're not setting it up, you're closing. So I mean,
selfish.
I think there's certainly positions and opportunities for everyone, and to have that committee. I mean, again, I think it just brings together a good bullpen. I think it does.
Wow.
Could have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely. So good to see that. And then today, in the 4-1 victory, a couple of things before we get into this game specifically. So Luis Severino, first start of the season, which was nice to see. But before this game, the Yankees designated for assignment Aaron Hicks.
The best day of Barnes' life.
His 9-year tenure with the Yankees comes to an end. They eat the remaining 2 years. $20 million. I think this is the first time, other than A-Rod, since I've watched the Yankees, that we've seen them eat the money, admit a mistake, and just move on from a player who had to go. And I have to say, I was completely surprised. I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Did you see this coming at all with Hicks? Yankees win.
But they're just gonna ride it out, dude. Don't worry about it. Just keep him around. We're paying him. We're gonna play him. Oh no. Thank God, dude.
What about you, Tony?
Sorry. I thought that was ranch. It was blue cheese.
Oh, you blew it. Are you tight?
Dude, I love blue cheese.
I didn't even know we had ketchup.
Oh man,
No, it's not for use for
let me
me.
wash it down with this East Rock beer.
There it is.
There you go.
Tony, you can't even give me something?
It's the only way to do it.
I mean, matter of time for Hicks, of course. I mean,
Dude, Barnes, how hyped
know,
are you, bud? Come
better-
on.
Well, once Donaldson goes, I'll be really happy.
I mean,
Once
listen.
this, there's all the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
yes, it is.
Donaldson.
I mean, I think obviously better late than never.
Right.
So it's about time. But it was pretty interesting. I saw, John Boy Media talk about how
Throw a
there
couple
was a point
shekels up
where
there.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
the greatest outfielder in the game. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like maybe,
Like defense.
but I mean, sample size is small anyway,
Yeah.
and it's like, what are you talking about?
I think the
dude?
pinnacle was that catch against
Yeah.
the Twins.
Yeah.
In
And it's
extra-
like, yeah,
what was that?
sure. I mean, you'll get, Brett Beatty's first at bat. He's the greatest hitter in the entire league, dude. Sure. I just think it's a stupid statement. I think people defending him is kind of ridiculous. I mean, the guy caused a lot of issues for the Yankees. I was saying the other day, too, he had the last 2 outs of whatever game it was, I think on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And it's like, fly ball at the left field. And I'm sitting there looking at it. And I'm like, there's a chance he just doesn't make this catch.
And
Like,
because he's not even
routine.
he's zoned out. He's
Yeah.
not in the game.
yeah, we've seen it before.
Yeah,
just
he had to go,
routine
bro.
plays. It's
You had
just
to
like,
go.
what is that, dude? I don't care what you looked like when you were younger, when you first started, your prospect, whatever, and then he had to go. And there's really no if and buts around
If,
it,
ands, or
whatever,
buts about it.
Yeah, thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Yeah.
after that beautiful burp, because it probably smells like what Jay says. He says ranch tastes like feet.
Oh no.
No, he's wrong. Wait, Jay said that?
Jay Libertelli, Jason Libertelli.
Jay Obertelli is an idiot. Nah, dude, ranch is. I'm pretty sure. I thought he likes ranch. I thought it's blue cheese. Blue cheese tastes like moldy.
Oh, I'm
feet.
sorry. It's prefer.
Oh, but I was gonna say I could have sworn Jay liked ranch.
Bro, I thought that was Jay too.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, you don't prefer. I'm sorry, bud, but you're wrong on that one. Ranch is delicious. Blue cheese is not good.
False. I disagree. I agree with
Well, I agree with me.
No, I actually,
That's fine, dude.
I
Have
actually
it
don't
your
really.
way, dude.
I actually don't really like ranch. I think blue cheese
Ranch
is really
sucks.
good. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But what I was gonna say though about this Hicks DFA, so obviously that was really good. One thing I was surprised about, and I know he had a good run with us a couple years ago, but did they go with Greg Allen to replace him? He did have a triple in today's game, but I wanted to see Florio get one more shot. And I know Michael and Tony saw people arguing with me on Twitter about how Florio's had a shot. He hasn't had a shot. They've never given him a couple weeks. It's up and down. Don't you think it makes no sense, Tony, to go with Greg Allen here, the journeyman, instead of giving Florio one more shot, a guy who you actually designated for assignment, but we're lucky that no one claimed him. He's younger. He's raking in AAA. Why are we bringing Greg Allen?
I mean, I totally agree with you, especially for me as a Met fan. I mean, I think there are a lot of teams, specifically the Mets, have proven that, some of these players who are younger in AAA have been doing well, have an opportunity to come up to the big leagues and really prove themselves and perform both offensively on both sides of the ball, really, for you. And I think Florio, who has gotten looks at the majors, been in the minors for a while, I think it's time you give him a serious shot where you consistently start him for, an extended period of time. And again, like you said, I think what we've been saying really all season, you have nothing to lose.
Right.
Because it's like,
That's
if you
the
didn't
whole
have
thing.
Florio, you would have Hicks or you would have this guy Allen.
Wow,
and
there
it's
we
just
go.
like,
I mean, the guy's right there. He's in
Come
your
on,
system.
dude.
Just bring
Yeah.
him. It's so easy. Just
bring
him up.
I think he has more of a shot to be
Bring him
good
up.
than Allen
Wait,
does.
did you see?
It'd be great.
Did you see the back and forth with me and the person on Twitter?
No.
So I was saying, they're like, oh, we've seen it. He's completely blown it. And I was like, look at, and he's telling me over 30 at bats that he's blown it. And I'm like, look at Mike Trout. He played in 40 games his rookie year.
Right.
He hit 220. His slugging was 390. You're telling me if they said, oh, he's finished, it would be the same thing.
so
He wouldn't be on the Angels.
So dumb.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. People are stupid, especially on Twitter, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, they like Mets fans and Rangers fans. Dude, literally, they're all.
Well, you know what's interesting? When I said, I know this is Prefer's burner, he stopped answering.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if Prefer has anything to say about that. but-
No.
I think
Michael,
you should,
I know you saw that back and forth.
I think you
right?
should be.
I did.
You were
You should
around.
be more
Yeah.
concerned with Michael's burner.
But and
Burner.
all of that being said, it was nice to see Severino back on the hill today. It's been a lengthy layoff. He gave him 4 2/3,
Lengthy.
gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, only walked 1, got up to 75 pitches. So obviously they're being conservative with Louis, taking it easy. I think that's the route to go. So I was pretty encouraged by what I saw today. And it was nice that the bullpen picked him up once again. I mean, it seems like every game we're talking about the bullpen going 4+ innings, which is what they did today. Abreu, Cordero, Peralta. Clay Holmes did get into some trouble in the ninth, loaded the bases even, but did get a ground out to end the game and get his 5th save of the season. So the Yankees sweep the Reds here, a season high 9 games over 500. And on top of that, I believe they pulled to 5.5 games of the Tampa Rays, who lost to the Brewers today.
Yeah.
So nice to see them, gain some ground. We talked about how they had put themselves in a hole, but here they go, answering the call, beating the teams that they're supposed to beat, and all of a sudden you turn around, they've won 6 out of 7 games.
Yeah. Dude, again, like what you were saying, I mean, I think the bullpen came up so huge this entire weekend. You today specifically, you went through four bullpen guys too, that I feel like at the beginning of this weekend I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in. We've seen Abreu struggle. Obviously, Peralta too, Cordero, all these guys have struggled. And then today specifically, I mean, that bullpen as a whole, those 4 guys gave up only 2 hits. Obviously, no one runs, only 1 walk between the 4 of them too. I mean, they were consistent. They were good. They came in. They did exactly what they need to do. We talked about Clay Holmes, getting that shot in the 9th, fumbling a little bit. But like I said, at the end of the day, he did get the job done. And I spoke of the bullpen giving up 2 hits, 1 walk. I mean, that was just from Clay Holmes too. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable what they're doing.
Great bullpen game.
It really is.
And you look at like Jimmy Cordero, a guy off the scrap heap, barely makes the roster. He has a 2.14 ERA this year.
Very nice.
Even Albert Abreu, who we know is very inconsistent.
Right.
The walks are a problem, but we saw him face the heart of the Jays lineup, pump fastballs at 99.
Yeah.
Like they're able to make stuff out of guys who people really don't even think belong on a major league roster, and they're playing big roles in this.
Matt Blake.
Yeah. Matt Blake, I think, plays a huge role here. So you love to see that. Before I just talk quickly about the offense today, are you a little concerned, Matt, though, that like you look at all these games that the bullpen's going 3-4 innings every night? Do you think that we're going to see the starters kind of get a longer leash, especially once they're fully healthy?
Yeah.
I mean, we know we got Louis back today, and he'll build up his pitch count.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Otherwise, you can burn the bullpen out. So, got to get some guys back, some starters, have them go.
Oh, yeah,
have
dude.
them go. You know what I mean?
You're gonna strike
You
out.
got to look to keep starters in there longer periods of time, like throughout stretches in the season.
Right.
Because you can't have just a stretch where it's the bullpen coming in for like 5 to 4 innings.
Yeah.
And one thing, and I know Ramirez has done it in the game. I think he's still on the roster, Nick Ramirez.
Yeah.
But I would kind of like to see Debbie swapped out for him because we know Debbie could give us 2 or 3 innings. He had to save the other day.
Dude, I wouldn't mind that.
But you know what I mean? You need multi-inning guys. They have it with Weber. They have it with Michael King. They have it with Marinaccio. But if you're going to go to your bullpen a lot, at least have 3-4 guys who can pitch multiple innings.
Yeah.
So I think that's the key. And Wandy is unbelievable. Remember we were tight when they traded Taubman for him?
Yep.
He was mediocre with San Francisco. He's like our most reliable reliever. That changeup, and he's fearless out on the
Part of the
mound.
reason why they won, they beat the Indians last year, or the Guardians.
Yeah, pitched all 5 games of the series. That was unbelievable.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, it was him and Bader that won that.
Harrison.
Speaking of Harrison Bader, the Yankees fell behind early in the first inning, 1-0. Bader with the answer in the 5th, a 2-run shot. So nice to see him. We talked about him getting the double yesterday. Gleyber Torres, we haven't seen too much from him recently. He homered, so that made it 3-run. And then Anthony Volpe with an insurance run to take it to 4-1. That ends up being the final score. So nice to see Judge get a day off. Willie Calhoun be your cleanup hitter, and you defeat the Reds 4-1. You get a sweep. You get a big hit by Volpe. You get Luis Severino back on the mound. You get Gleyber Torres hitting his 7th home run, and Bader kind of regaining that confidence after a little bit of a slump. I don't think you could look at this weekend and think that it could be any more positive than it was.
Yeah, no, honestly, you really can't. I mean, from the bare bones of all you guys got wins, and on top of that, you mentioned the great bullpen. Bader's been absolutely raking.
Clutch hits.
Is doing great too.
Man.
Bader. Yeah, honestly, it's so nice to see. I mean, Bader's such a great outfielder to have. The man's got explosive speed, quick hands.
Gold glove center
the bad
fielder.
dude. Yeah,
No doubt.
he really is, dude.
No doubt. He makes all the plays.
Literally,
All
and
the
it's so
plays.
funny because obviously people make fun of him because of the mouthpiece, but really, it doesn't matter.
It does not
Do you know where
matter.
he's from?
Bronxville.
He is from Bronx.
Yeah. Remember we talked about it?
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
6. So that's 6 too. I mean,
Story.
how many local guys they have? Dude, him, Volpe, Marinaccio.
It might be it.
Sounds like
There's definitely someone else in New Jersey, dude.
It really does. Yankee Goodfellas.
You know what?
Yankee
How are
Goodfellas.
you?
How are you?
You know what I'm slightly
Nico.
annoyed about though? Great weekend, and then look at the schedule tomorrow. Off day.
I mean,
I get a nice off day. Enjoy the wins here, honestly, bro. What are you worried about, dude?
No, but you know what I mean.
No.
No, I'm talking to Matthew.
No, no.
No, but right or no?
no, I mean, yeah, but it's a day off.
No, I mean, yeah, but it's a day off. Yo, dude, take the
It's
day
a
off.
day off. What are you gonna do?
Hey, you know what, Brian?
Just chill out for
You
a
take the
second.
day off. How about that, dude?
You should. The Yankees have days off. You should take.
Be like, yeah, Yankees aren't playing today. I'm staying home.
And technically, actually, that's a good way to say that tomorrow we are taking the day off because we'll be in Boston.
There we
Oh,
go.
yes, there is no sports for tomorrow. Yeah.
And
What
that
a
actually
segue.
is perfect timing because I have a golf tournament anyway. So there you go.
Look
Oh,
at
so
that.
you weren't coming anyway?
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh,
We're
couldn't
doing the
work
show
out better.
tomorrow, Michael.
What do you guys got going on in Boston?
Metro.
Metro
Can't
Noodle
say
Bar.
what.
Metro Boston.
Metro
It's a shoot.
Boston.
Wow.
We're doing a shoot.
Yeah,
We're
dude.
doing a
Nice.
video shoot there.
Video shoot.
Shout out Metro for Eat Justice.
There we
They're a
go.
nonprofit
Yes.
that they run, which every time you go to Metro Noodle Bar and you get a ramen there, 50 cents of that goes to Eat Justice, and they pick a new nonprofit to donate.
Every month.
North,
Yeah.
just
Great.
north of 20,000 or so, probably around 30,000 plus now this month
Yeah, they've been killing it,
to the
dude.
next nonprofit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Have
That's
you
awesome.
been, Brian?
I've had it twice.
Do you
So
like
good.
ramen?
So I do like it, but it bothered my stomach.
Oh.
There's like a lot going on though. If you think about all the spices, the meat, like there's a lot of sodium in there.
Tony doesn't.
It's a great place. I'm saying I think it tastes
right.
great.
He's not
It-
lying, dude.
Like people could be
Barnes.
bothered by high
No,
sodium.
yeah,
It's not
no,
that
no,
crazy.
I-
hear me out. You have to do like the apps there.
Yeah,
dude,
dude. The bao buns.
the bao buns
dude,
are the
so
best thing I've ever had.
Yeah, you got to
honestly.
just do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like
I usually
40
just
of them.
house the apps there. They
Yeah.
got this
Yeah.
General Tso's chicken app.
No,
thing.
I
Or
don't
shrimp,
get me
shrimp,
wrong.
shrimp.
I think it's a great restaurant, and I love that it's quality. Quality.
Yes.
and
High
then
clean food.
Everyone
High
has a
quality.
similar
Right.
layout.
Yes.
It's a great layout with the
Yeah,
bar
yeah,
in
yeah.
the center.
Yeah.
It's a live atmosphere. Kind of reminds me of Bar Taco in a way. The way the bar is.
Yeah, I
set
can
up.
see
kinda
that.
reminds me of
It's
here,
around,
too.
yeah. And honestly, and Michael and I said it the other day too. We've been to almost every location. Actually,
Yeah.
I think literally every location.
Wait, they're not like out west or
They're,
south.
they're
no,
actually
no.
adding 3 locations.
Yeah.
Announcements coming soon.
Oh, great,
Nice.
great. So that's awesome. Good
Yeah.
stuff
There.
there.
Let's see where they go.
But dude,
Um,
consistently good
you
in
will see,
every
Matthew.
single
Yeah.
location.
Your favorite
So
thing from
good.
there? Go.
Oh,
The thing I said for
Dude,
me
that
is
is
the General
so tough.
Tso's
No,
shrimp
no.
dish. For me,
I
I'm
mean,
talking.
honestly, I go the pork ramen. So
Wow.
good, dude.
Delicious.
With the pork that's just been slow
And the
roasted,
wings, Tony,
so-
the wings.
The firecracker wings are so. It's tough to pick just
Mets
one
are losing
thing,
1-0.
but I love ramen.
Can we get the
so
Mets
with the
game for
pork
Tony?
ramen.
We're.
Yeah. What do we?
Oh yeah,
watch?
we can get the Mets game
Yeah.
on here.
Tonkatsu, I believe it's called.
Is Dean
Dean in the house.
in the back?
Yeah.
Well, when he comes back out, we'll do that.
Dean in
And we
the
actually are
vicinity,
going to
dude.
talk about the Mets. I just want to
Finally,
wrap up
bro.
the
What the
Yankees.
fuck?
So we know they're off
Whoa.
tomorrow. Then they have a 3-game home set against Baltimore. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They get Cole, Cortez,
What are
and
they around
Schmidt.
for?
And then this weekend, they will actually host the San Diego Padres, which is interesting. So, you're going to get Severino, Herman, and Cole pitching in that series as well. So some good baseball coming up at home.
Boston's going to one of
6-game
those
homestand. That's awesome. Yes, San Diego game? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then they will head out west to actually have 3 games with the Mariners and 3 games with the Dodgers, which should be pretty fun before they return home for a 6-game homestand. So all in all, a lot has changed over the past week plus. And there's just a sense of confidence in this team again. And I think it really did all start with that series against the Rays. I know they ended up splitting it, but I think that gave them the confidence that they could beat any team when they're hitting on all cylinders. And then also the return of Aaron Judge. You can't downplay the impact that he has on the lineup, the way that the batters are pitched to. It's a completely different ball game. We've seen Rizzo, who's been great all season, really catch fire since Judge has returned. So you feel great about the offense. You feel great that Luis Severino's back. You feel great about your bullpen. And you feel great that you're back in this division race. And that's something we
just
couldn't
5.5
say
out.
just 10 days ago.
No, it's not. It's 5.5 out. So
Didn't you not see it coming either? Because we were pretty downtrodden. Like we really
It
were.
was tough. It looked like it was going to be a long season. But
Are you surprised, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, you knew about the talent on the Yankees for sure. And I mean, yeah, like the Orioles have been doing so great. Red Sox have been improving a little bit. Blue Jays kind of in a skid, but I mean, you knew the Orioles like probably wouldn't have been keeping up their production. You know, a lot of young guys. Yeah, it's great. They have momentum, the youth. But down the stretch of the season, you see that kind of dissipate a little bit.
We're back.
And then, of course, the Rays. You know, I mean, they started off so hot. You know, historic run. To start the season. Again, you would imagine that they kind of flatline out at some point too. And you look at their last 10 games; they're 5-5. You know, struggling against the Mets here specifically. So they did some give the Yankees some help here. And again, the Yankees are getting hot, seemingly at the right time now. 9 games over 500. They've been 8-2 in their last 10. As a second half Tampa Bay. So obviously they're making up games left and right here. Just 2.5 behind Baltimore. I would imagine. I think 2.5, 3.5, maybe 3.5 on Baltimore.
Yeah.
I would imagine they catch up to them fairly quick, take the second place, and then the Rays are just in grasp, just like the division right there. So yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last
What's
thing.
their next series?
Baltimore. So there you go.
Here we go.
Home
buddy.
series against Baltimore starting Tuesday.
3 games behind Baltimore.
It's a pretty big series.
Big series.
Let's go, dude.
And then how about this?
We going to Baltimore?
No, this is at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, really?
Let's go.
Really?
I'm down.
Yeah.
When do they start tomorrow?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, you'll be back from Boston. There you go. There we go. But also I was gonna say, as a transition to the Mets, the Yankee. Last thing I'm gonna say.
Are you sure?
Are you
sure it's the last
Are you sure you're going to the Mets?
Yes.
Are you
Okay.
sure about that?
But all this good stuff, all the guys that have been stepping up, and then the fact that we have to look forward to Tommy Kahnle joining this bullpen, Giancarlo Stanton coming back to this lineup, and eventually, which it might be a month plus or even a little longer, Carlos Rodon making his Yankee debut. So those are a bunch of things to look forward to, as well as the fact that Jason Dominguez and Austin Wells are starting to produce in the minor leagues. They eventually might be called on. So all good stuff. Bright skies ahead. And I know Tony thinks bright skies are ahead for the New York Metropolitans.
Absolutely. And speaking of Rodon for you, we actually have Quintana, who's making some good strides here in terms of rehabbing. Jose Quintana.
I thought you were talking about Halo.
Cortana? No, not Cortana. Quintana.
Oh,
dude.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear about your Cortana stuff. All right, dude. But yeah, Quintana, I think throwing from the mound for the first time now, doing better in his rehab. So you could expect to see him sooner rather than later, which is nice. But just want to start off with that since you talked about Rodon. But anyway, not as much Mets to talk about here as the Yankees. Unfortunately, they ran out yesterday, but we're going to start obviously with Friday night as they beat the Guardians here 10-9 in 10 innings.
I believe you called me out on Twitter.
Yes, I did call you on Twitter.
Wow.
As we typically do, Brian calls me out.
actually
when he's at
here
Yankee
Friday
Stadium. Yeah, I was going to say, we watched the game right here.
Watch them win it.
Dude, packed house. I
It was
had
packed
the
here
Mets
Friday
hat
night.
on. There were some
Horseshoe,
other Mets
always
fans
packed on
as
the
well,
weekends.
Michael.
Yes.
Plenty of Mets fans here. You'll have to see that here because, obviously it's Connecticut, a lot of Yankee fans. But
What are you
starting
trying
with
to
this
say?
game
We're
here,
patriotic.
no, I think you guys are just like kind of front runners.
We're patriotic. It's the Yankees.
talking
We're struggling to find yourselves really.
Yankees run through our blood,
stop.
and Matthew knows it. You're going to leave me hanging?
Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
Bronx.
I'll leave you hanging, dude.
Continue on.
born
Continue
there.
on.
I was born there. I moved there when I was 3 years old.
3 years
dude.
old, dude.
I'm from the Bronx.
I don't
3 years
know, dude.
old.
Anyway, dude. So you look at this game here. Carlos Carrasco was on the mound here. I think had maybe 3 starts for the Mets this season. Got injured, which was kind of a bright spot, honestly, if you ask me. He's been absolutely horrible. He had over an 8 ERA in those few starts. And we obviously know his performances from last season.
Right.
He ends up going 5 innings, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Giving up only 1 home run, which is nice for him. But I mean, again, talk about putting the Mets in a hole. And I feel like literally every single game, Mets are giving up runs in the first inning. Top of the first, Josh Naylor homers, almost 400 feet. 2 men were on. One of those men being Ahmed Rosario, who actually had a nice little tribute to him.
Tribute video.
Yeah, the tribute video. I know Brian loves it.
Did
dude.
Jimenez, or is he not playing?
He wasn't playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are the Wings barns, by the way? Fabulous. Sorry.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
They're really good.
Anyway, dude. So moving on, top of the second here, Gallagher, another RBI single. Right then and there, the Mets are down 4-0. And it's only the second inning.
Right.
You think Carrasco absolutely cooked as always, dude.
You're tight.
What are we gonna do, dude? Settles down a little bit after the second. Really after that Gallagher RBI single, strikes out a few, makes it to the 5th inning here, where Rosario gets an RBI single. Obviously, someone gets brought in. I think Carrasco got up like 3 more hits in that inning, and after the 5th inning, gets pulled, right?
How besides them hitting him, I mean, how was his stuff looking? Was it flat? Was his velocity down? I mean, what was
in terms of velocity, I have to double check, but I mean his movement was really lackluster.
flat?
Oh yeah, that's good.
And again, as someone as Carrasco, we know he's an off-speed pitcher. He relies on the movement of his pitches. It just wasn't there. I understand it's his first start in however long. You would expect, some obviously growing pains, I guess you could say, but nonetheless, I mean, that's still what you get from him anyway. That's what we're used to seeing from him. He's not a great pitcher. I don't think he deserves to be in this rotation. It's ferocious to see him out here. An absolute ferocious performance from him. But again, gets pulled out of the 5th. Bright spot here. Francisco Alvarez. Out of the 5th. Dinger, dude. 413 feet. I know Brian is very hot on Francisco Alvarez. Again, you think about what he's done for the team. Being a catcher, being kind of, a leader on the field in that catching position, and on top of that,
Tony's favorite team
offensively. I mean, his month of May has been extraordinary. I think he has like 5 home runs just in the month of May alone. So he's been tremendous in terms of contributing to the team offensively. And again,
As a 9-hitter.
As a 9-hitter who's comfortable in that spot, that's fine. Bottom of the lineup is bad anyway. And then on top of that, I mean, I just feel like, it was a comeback win. There was comeback wins against Tampa Bay Rays. And, I mean, I feel like every time we came back, it started with an Alvarez, either an on-base hit or a home run. Mm-hmm. The man's electric. And, again, from the bottom of the lineup,
that's their bullpen.
Jay says, go Mets, baby. It's all about the Mets.
About the Mets. Jay knows about it.
What does he know?
But again, dude, like I said, again, like having him in the 9th spot, and then, he's a dinger, and then you have the heart of the lineup. Nimmo comes up with Lindor, Alonso,
Who's just crazy.
Marte. I mean, it's so great to see. It's almost like he's an extension of the start of the lineup. It's great to see. But then moving on from there, I mean, the 5th inning was pretty hot for the Mets. Lindor had a hit. McNeil had an RBI to bring him in. 6th inning, Brett Beatty. Talk about the youngsters on the team. Brett Beatty with another home run, making it 5-3, dwindling down this Cleveland Guardians lead here. Of course, top of the 7th, bullpen gets a little bit of trouble here. As Naylor, who is hot from the 1st inning, RBI single, kind of extending that lead, 7-3. Alonso with a grand slam, bottom of the 7th. Again, another player who the wins against the Rays, the comeback wins, it was always Alvarez setting him up, Alonso knocking him down. And you saw that again, the grand slam in the 7th, absolute huge 16th home run for Alonso, tying the game up. From then on, we moved to extra innings, top of the 10th. Arias, a 2-run home run, making it 9-7. Ramirez was on base. He scores 2, of course. And, again, I mean, to be up by 2, bottom of the 10th, it's do or die, a lot of pressure. You see it from the young guys again. Starting with Beatty, who gets on base. Vientos follows it up, brings him in with an RBI single, and then Alvarez with another 2-run home run, making it 9-9, and then Lindor RBI single to end the game on the walk-off, 10-9.
Tony tribute video.
Dude, literally, like, we were here at the Horseshoe. Absolutely
Talk about it, a little, baby.
You guys saw it on Twitter.
I caught it live. I was waiting. I knew they were going to win.
Dude, it was so dope to see. And, you're looking at that comeback win, and it wasn't just, a solo shot that was a walk-off. It was getting men on base, bringing them in to tie the game, and then keeping that offense going throughout the lineup. Seeing from top to bottom a phenomenal performance by your young guys, by your veterans, and Lindor and Pete Alonso as well with the grand slam. Alonso with 4 RBIs, obviously with the grand slam. Beatty went 2 for 5, obviously coming in clutch in extras. Had a home run well. Mark Vientos DH spot, which I told you earlier he should have been starting there. 1 for 4, coming up big in the 10th inning there. Kind of went 1 for 4 as well. But Alvarez, obviously, in the 9-hole there, 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a home run. Absolute tremendous win to beat the Guardians here. At that point, they made it 500 to 23-23 after the horrific, stretch they were on.
It's okay.
And then, as I mentioned, Saturday rained out. which gave us the doubleheader today.
Pete Alonso's suffering with the flu, by the way. You never mentioned that.
Pete Alonso's struggling with the flu. I was unaware of that, actually. Before that, really?
Just now.
Well, he looks like he's totally healthy out there on the field, as you can tell. But moving to the doubleheader today, I believe Game 2 is in progress right now, probably. Verlander started, and then Scherzer started Game 1, which the Mets won 5-4. But I will say it's the first time, I'm forgetting how long, that the Mets have in a doubleheader 2 stars with 3 or more Cy Young awards.
Oh wow!
So,
in the whole franchise history.
No, it's happened before, but it's been like a really long time.
Maybe the Oral Hershiser days.
Yeah, honestly, dude, it's been forever. And to see is great. I mean, obviously, to see Scherzer's performance specifically to start with that today. In Game 1, Scherzer was struggling with injury, struggling with age for sure. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, which is absolutely huge for him. Only threw 86 pitches too, so pretty. I guess consistent, pretty efficient is the word I'm looking for. I will say, looking at his pitches though, I mean his four-seam fastball was hitting 92 at most.
Ferocious.
So kind of tough. And again, I don't know. I feel like sometimes his strategy with the fastball is to kind of hit middle of the plate, but hit the edges.
Wow.
But I mean, you look at some of his his stats, where his pitches are located. I mean, the man really rarely paints the corners with his fastball, and it really, and because of that, I feel like you see his fastball get hit a lot. Right. The velocity isn't there. He's not throwing 95, 96. He's throwing 92, which is a big difference for a lot of these batters. And again, when his location isn't on for the fastball, I mean, he turned out to be very hittable. Obviously, today he was not hittable and gave up 3 hits, which is great. His ERA is still above a 4. So I mean, it's pretty nice to still see, though, that Scherzer had a great start, stringing along 2 great starts with Scherzer, Verlander, trying to sweep this doubleheader, sweep the Guardians in the weekend. You mentioned about, how the bullpen was doing. Really came in good in the 7th. You guys have a problem, dude?
No. Honestly, no.
Can't even get him that
to do with what you were saying. It was actually Chokery's comment, which Michael posted.
We're cutting. I'm just putting it up.
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
Okay,
yet.
that's the only thing I'm saying. It had nothing to do with what you said.
I can stop if you guys want me to stop.
No, Tony. I'm listening to you, Tony.
The bar, get a beer, just hang out.
You're not going anywhere.
When you see the comment, though, I'm just saying.
What do you say?
All right, he said, Brian, I just talked to my neighbor who is a big Mets fan, as you know. He admitted that the Yankees are better than them this season. You know, that's a huge thing for him to say.
I don't worry about Mets fans in Carolina. I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
Let's go! Chokery, don't pay attention to that. We always appreciate your helpful
I know Florida.
Insight. It has nothing to do with the Mets.
It absolutely does. No.
Honestly, one thing, I promise you can continue, but tell me it's not good to have both the Yankees and the Mets playing well again, because I feel like this season we haven't had our back and forth banter. It does make it a little fun if you think about it that way.
No, it does. But I prefer to see you sad.
But I'm saying you don't like the back and forth?
No, of course. I love the back and forth.
Yeah, I know Michael loves it.
Oh, I enjoy it the most.
Yeah,
so,
Michael loves to sit back and
continue
watch.
on, though. Continue on.
So thank you, Renee.
Wow. Same beer, Renee? Yeah,
Renee
of course.
says yes, by the way.
East
I
Brewing
didn't know if they had another beer on tap besides the Mexican ale.
This is what you need. Dude. It's a Mexican lager.
Tony, you'll be happy to know, coming in your defense, Tony, don't stop. No respect. Let the man talk.
Thank you very much, prefer. But looking at the bullpen in Game 1 here, really did well. Through nine pitches, through 1 inning there, gave up no earned runs or anything like that. I don't know if we saw again here struggling. Only made it through 2/3 inning. Gave up 3 earned runs here.
42 ERA.
Yeah, 42. It's kind of ballooning. And, I mentioned before, I forget, it must have been against Tampa Bay, where it was, a tight game where he comes in and he kind of blows it. So we're kind of seeing Ottavino now in a lot of these high leverage situations, just really not being able to show up. I understand I was highlighting a lot of Ottavino from the bullpen. But again, a lot of these games he was coming in, there was really no pressure on him. It was either a big lead or a big lead or a big deficit. So he really never had much pressure coming in with just a 1-run lead, 2-run lead, where he really needs to kind of batten down the hatches and throw consistently good pitches like from the get-go. So he's kind of crumbling a little bit. He had to bring in Robertson. Buck asked him to get 4 outs. He did exactly that, though. and got the save. So that was great. Mets win 5-4. Again, offense was churning. Starling Marte, who did start in right field, was 3-for-4 with a home run and 2 RBIs today in Game 1. Vogelbach even had a hit. Gary Sanchez. Starting catching position, looked solid at catcher.
Huge applause. Rich was at the game.
Yeah.
Huge applause for
they
Gary.
did love him coming in, dude.
Yeah.
And he went 1 for 3 with an RBI, coming up clutch too. Did strike out twice.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see that a lot. With
you are going to see it a lot.
But 1 for 3, that's 333.
Yes, he is.
Wow, great guy.
Now he was doing well in AAA. I'm not as hot on Sanchez as Brian right now, though.
No,
Michael, no, you know it. You know he's going to do big things. It's meant to be.
It's just meant to be. He's not meant to be.
His redemption tour
Yes.
in New York City. I said it first. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
The man is talented.
I mean, I can see him performing a little bit.
No,
at the plate.
you're going to be shockingly surprised.
Certainly not at the catching position.
I can't wait to see the tribute video at Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
That's going to be awesome.
Also, real quick,
Standing O. Standing O.
Hi, everyone. Whoa. Donna Barnaby says, tongue twister right there.
Barnaby.
Glad we could watch some of the show, watching in the car on the way back from
Love it,
MA.
dude.
Thank you, Mom. Appreciate it. We can't wait to see them next time.
Yes. No, I'm sad they couldn't make it this time.
I know.
I'm excited to see you next time. But I will say right now, Gary Sanchez is no consistent starting catcher for any team. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen. If anything, it'll be helpful with the DH spot. Lord knows we need it. But for the most part, I mean, obviously you got to be happy with 2 wins so far. Buck has managed well, managing the doubleheader, getting the bullpen in there, asking Robertson for 4 outs, him performing. Again, Buck, who's been certainly criticized a lot this season for moves he's made, rightfully so, by the way, on some of the moves. But obviously stringing along some good wins. We know, maybe what Buck was seeing is finally coming to fruition here. And obviously, it's going to be even more of a testament to him if they win Game 2 here, as we're just putting them on.
Let's go.
Oh, and we go to commercial break.
Let's try it. It's time.
Is Brian running the broadcast?
Meet the Mets.
You got yellow Travolta.
Travolta, Zach Braff.
Dude,
He looks so weird.
He looks weird.
Wait, do you think that's actually him?
No, he's definitely cloned. 100% a clone.
Really weird. Really weird.
Well, that's my Mets talk, guys.
Well, what's going on right now? In progress.
You want to update right now?
We're just going to skip over that?
Dude, I mean, stop.
Oh my goodness.
Of course not. So as I mentioned, Verlander on the mound for the Mets. I believe last time we checked, I know my internet's a little slow here. They're down 1-0. They still are down 1-0 here as it's the end of the second, excuse me. And looking at that one score here, it was a Ramirez solo shot off of Verlander. Something we've seen before. Verlander come in again. The runs or giving up runs in general.
Backs against the wall.
It happens every single freaking time, and I really wish we didn't do that again. Looking at that, just at bat, Verlander comes in here, starts him off with a 4-seam fastball, 94 on the inside corner for a ball, change up low and out of the zone, ball. Forcing him to kind of throw a pitch. He goes to the 4-seam fastball, gets fouled off. Kind of on the middle outside of the plate over there, but kind of middle. Throws the exact same pitch that was just fouled off for the home run. So, I mean, I think maybe, obviously Verlander early on in the game thinking he can blow fastballs past players. I mean, I don't know. For me, if you see a pitcher fouling off your fastball, I mean, if I'm a pitcher, I'm throwing off speed next.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not – obviously this batter is sitting fastball. I'm going to try and throw something off speed, maybe even something – intentionally out of the strike zone, right? Because they're trying to swing. So I always get so confused when a pitcher just is kind of stubborn and just wants to yam fastballs in there when batters are making contact with it already. It's like, why are you trying to do that?
Yeah. It's a force.
It is a force, and because of that, Ramirez's solo shot. Stop it.
Second home run of the series, Tony. He had the one in the 8th today. Actually,
all right, here we go, and they're up right now.
So here we go. Verlander on the mound. Looks like Jeff McNeil is mic'd up. Absolutely love that.
I was just gonna say he's definitely mic'd up.
The Mets here sporting the black alternate jerseys.
The Carvel jerseys.
Those are their best ones.
Those really are.
They are the best ones. I have to say.
Is today like a Veterans Day or something?
Dude, they've been wearing those all weekend.
What's the deal with that?
Yeah, it's probably a weekend. It's probably a weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't even know. Like Memorial Day weekend.
The being mic'd up.
I love it.
I don't get how it works, but
It's just great broadcasting. You know, we know SNY. I mean, this isn't SNY, it's ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball. We know. But we know a lot of these broadcasting crews have a great job. Wow, Jeff McNeil
The
there.
golf.
The golf, the junior amateur championship, as Brian would say. But anyway, I think having a player mic'd up, I think it's great. We see it time and time again, whether it's in the dugout for an interview or out in the field. I think it's so cool to get in the mind of a player while they're playing. And they always interview good players. We've seen Freeman get interviewed, Lindor get interviewed, Kike Hernandez get interviewed,
Harper.
McNeil, obviously, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout get interviewed. I mean, I think it's so great to see even the dynamic of interacting with the player. It certainly is super unique to baseball to be able to mic someone up while they're playing and be able to have a conversation with them. So why not take advantage?
Now, but any concern though that they get sidetracked and like have a late jump on a ball? I haven't seen it happen, but does that cross your mind at all?
I mean, hey, maybe at first, but again, watching
I've seen it with the Mets.
these segments and time again, these are professional ball players, and you see them like I've seen it with Freeman too, where he ignores what's going on and he's paying attention to what's happening in the game.
They couldn't do it.
Yeah, the professionals.
They wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it, Brian. Professional ball players.
It is a new element. It started in the All-Star game, and then they've brought it to regular season.
But I love it. What do you think? You like it?
Yeah, but the one time that something happens where they don't make a play because of that, it's gonna be like, we're never doing this again.
Right.
Yeah,
that's how I'm gonna feel. And then they won't do it in playoffs.
Oh God, no.
No way.
Gosh, no.
No
Gosh.
way.
Yeah.
They didn't do that last year.
I like it. Hopefully, the Mets can turn around here. As I forget who was at bat, but just grounded out for the second out here. At the top of the
Gallagher
third.
struck out on the first at bat of the inning.
Yes, he did. So we had 2 outs here, top of the third. Verlander kind of cruising through. Hopefully, settle down since that solo shot in the first. Hopefully, again, you're looking at someone who can hopefully, give you some innings here. You expect out of him as he threw a fastball in there, upper part of the strike zone for ball one
some
here.
high cheese there.
To some hot, stinky
Cheddar?
cheese, Michael.
Cheddar?
At 94 for that fastball. We've seen his fastball reach 96, and he just blew past
Well
the
located
fastball.
there, too.
Well located, high and inside on Rosario. Again, if you're going to hammer a fastball at any time, it's got to be high and tight, dude. Every
always.
single time.
Every single time.
You jack the batter up a little bit. You get him a little nervous, and now off speed on the way, maybe a curve even. Oh, numbering the fastball
McNeil.
in. Gets the ground out to Lindor. McNeil with a nice cover.
Stretch by Petey. I didn't know he could stretch like
Dude,
that.
he's been doing hot yoga, and I'm not joking there. So he's got some longevity in the legs. Length is strength, as they say. So you love that to end the inning.
Tony's trying to get me to love Pete.
I don't know why you wouldn't, dude.
Are you
Not
actually
marketable.
trying to get him to love Pete?
I could care less what Michael thinks about baseball.
He's just not marketable to me.
No, I mean that's fine. I mean again, Michael doesn't really take baseball that serious. So I mean, he's a casual fan. He roots for the Mets when I'm rooting for the Mets when you're not around.
Wow.
Just when you're not around.
I take your word at face value, Michael. Do you root for the Mets, or is it just more you want Tony to be satisfied?
Oh,
with
Tony's a
baseball?
big
think it's
part.
both.
Tony's a huge part, obviously. But no, I had friends. Tony, I mean Matt will know him. Colin Kelly from my grade.
I know Colin.
I know you do as well, but we had this talk recently. But I watched the Mets lose a lot of tough games and seasons, and now with Tony and the Mets, it's just a combo. Like, yeah, I don't want them. Like you said, it's better when they're both winning.
And we have to have these last 2 comments if you could put them up, Michael.
Oh, 100%. So Buffer says, Tony, what should the Mets do when their catchers get healthy? Nito, Narvaez, Alvarez, and Sanchez. Sounds like a band.
It does.
Go ahead and answer that, and we got one more question coming up.
Again, I mean, it's super tough, especially with all the guys you brought up and some players playing well. But I think Sanchez, again, he's not an everyday catcher. He's, I think, better.
Backup catcher for you.
Even backup, honestly. I don't trust him that much behind the plate. We've seen him flub defensive plays, like with the Yankees specifically. I would be more comfortable with him at the DH spot. I think Nito, at this point, would probably be best as your backup, with Alvarez being your starter. I think that's really your best bet. Nito, again, he's kind of he's your veteran catcher at this point for the Mets. He's caught all your pitchers. He's a great defensive catcher. You really don't have any issues with him. Of course, his bat is more than lackluster, which is why I would side with Alvarez. Narvaez, I believe, is the other catcher. I don't know if that was a misprint.
Navarez.
Typo. Narvaez, yeah, not Narvaez.
Omar Navarez.
Oh, yeah. Again, someone who's older. We've seen some good looks from him. But again, I mean, I'd rather see Nino. I think the sample size with him is bigger. Defensively, he's more sound. But like I said, I mean, Alvarez is your everyday catcher.
I feel like Alvarez, your everyday catcher, Nino the backup, and then Sanchez as an emergency catcher and DH.
Right, and DH, yeah.
Perfect.
Again, honestly, even my DH spot, as we got Tommy Pham now starting left field today, up at the plate, who grounds out
to
short, routine out.
I can make that play in my sleep.
For the first out at the bottom of the third here. But again, I mean, even Sanchez at DH, again, I mean, how do you not try and throw Vientos at there? Youthfulness, the future of the team here. You could try to work him into left field because, of Marcana or rather work him into third base and Brett Beatty into left field. But again, I mean, Beatty's been doing so well at third base, you really don't want to move him.
Right.
I mean, he's made some great plays at third base in the hot corner.
You can't do that just because your other guys.
So even Sanchez in the DH spot, I feel like isn't even the best lineup you could
Yeah,
have.
but it's one of those things we see with the Yankees all the time. Oh, how are these guys getting in the lineup? They're going to get in the lineup. Guys need days off. It's going to be fine. And then also, too, Tony, I'm not complimentary of the Mets often, but I do have to say they have to handle it right. They have a really good young core, and you hope that they let those guys play the whole season, get consistent at bats, and go through the tough times with them. Yeah,
and I mentioned the other day of Alvarez and Beatty when Alvarez was off. I mean, they were nothing but just cheerful and talkative in the dugout in between innings, and you're seeing that even more so with Vientos. I mean, these are three guys who are in the exact same spot in their careers, coming up to the majors together. And they're showing such a sense of camaraderie and honor and privilege for playing for the Mets too.
One of them up right now.
Yeah, you got Francisco Alvarez up right now.
That was a nice cut.
Who just fouled off.
Barnes loves him.
Again, like you get a player like Alvarez, a rookie. Facing a veteran, Cy Young Award winner and Shane Bieber here.
No fear,
dude. Who's not scared here? Yeah, who's fouling off pitches here, staying disciplined. Did not go right there, dude.
He didn't go. I knew he didn't go.
And draws in the walk.
Yeah,
I mean, just drew a walk over Shane Bieber, and that's a terrific at bat for him.
How tall is he? Like 5'5"?
Yeah, he's like 5'6", and he's
isn't he like 5'7", 5'8"?
He's like a pit bull.
I think he's 5'7".
But also they lie about the height, so
he is a little pit bull, but he is in great shape.
Yeah, great shape.
He's not just a typical fat boy catcher.
No.
And seemingly, again, who's calm, cool, collected.
He might even go here.
Has had.
He looks like
I don't know, man.
He's ready, Bart.
He's had some really great at bats, and just really love it, dude. He looks like a veteran player out there. Again, like no fear against Shane Bieber.
I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
And then Dwayne Scott comments.
Dwayne!
On behalf of all Reds fans, we are happy to see the Yankees leave town.
As we would say,
I bet you are.
As we would say, Tony, we'll see you at the stadium, brother.
And then also we have Prefer coming in again saying, I would showcase Alvarez and trade him for Ohtani.
Not going to happen.
It was pretty interesting. There's a lot of talk.
Wow.
There's a lot of talk in terms of asking for Epler's job just because of the horrific performance he's had as GM in terms of acquiring certain guys in the offseason, acquiring guys, trade deadline, acquisition, stuff like that. But there's so much talk about keeping him just because of his relationship with Ohtani. And I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's still a long shot. Of course, having him, we know about his work with the Angels and bringing in Ohtani. So there's a relationship there for sure. And having Ohtani on the Mets would be tremendous. But giving, by the way, the cam, absolutely
unbelievable.
Love it, I think it's so cool.
Yep.
Another great addition to broadcast here for baseball. I will say it is really cool. But to give up, Francisco Alvarez, I mean, I don't know. I think that'd be a huge, massive mistake. I understand you're going to have to give up a lot of prospects for somebody like Ohtani. But I think Francisco Alvarez should be one who's kind of off the table.
Wait, and you don't think, though, there's a chance the Angels are saying, we're not going to trade Ohtani because we're going to try to restructure the organization in the offseason with a chance to keep him?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure.
But they've been saying that for 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to say they've been trying to restructure the team forever, dude.
Bring in Girardi.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
It's just any Yankee does it.
I think you're better off with Torrey, dude.
I mean, it would be nice to see Joseph back
Bring
in
in Bobby
the-
Valentine, dude. He would
Wow,
love to be
Bobby
on the West
V
Coast.
would.
He works for the
In the
Angels
dugout.
in the broadcasting.
Dude,
Bobby
I'm
V
telling
would
you.
love it.
Yeah,
Think about it.
I'm thinking.
And but I don't know. I don't know what you think, Matt. Too like
Then we'll hear a 3-2 pitch.
I just don't think
And a single.
hit,
Wow.
dude.
Right over the shortstop here.
because of the uncertainty of where Ohtani's going to go, how much money he's going to want. I don't think he's going to get traded because teams are going to know they're going to be able to sign him, and, and the
Yeah,
Eagles are going to want the
he's-
kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I
He's
mean,
gonna have to hit free
rightfully
agency.
so, dude. He will have
Rightfully
to.
so, but
Yeah.
I'm saying it doesn't make sense for the teams.
It doesn't make sense for the teams. But the Angels are going to want to trade him, I feel, before he reaches free
Yeah, I know,
agency.
but it's like they can't do it, then
And one thing I was going to say too,
tough.
Tony,
You're
I
losing for
think
nothing.
it-
Do you think the Angels, though, would rather risk trying to re-sign him but potentially lose him than rather just trade
yes,
him
because
away?
he's the best thing they have going by a mile. I know
yeah,
Trout's
I know,
really good,
but-
but they need Ohtani.
Gosh.
And also, I was going to say
They
too,
need
what you're
Ohtani.
saying about Epler, I think it could almost be a detriment. I know
I think
he
so,
brought
too.
him to the Angels, but look at all the moves he's had. Ohtani wants to win, and
Yeah.
Epler's at the start of it. He was at the start of a disaster with the Angels. So why is he going to want him to be his general manager with the Mets?
I think that in order for Epler to really prove himself, I mean, he has to make some acquisitions in the trade deadline this season specifically. Again, give the man the season for sure. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of time as general manager of the Mets, right? So give him this trade deadline. I don't think he should get fired in the middle of the season. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with the Mets. Obviously, we're more on the upside now in terms of performance, but there's just a lot of players just not performing to what they should be. And of course, pitchers struggling with injury. Of course, you could say, well, I mean, Epler brought in, these pitchers who are old. As Lindor grounds out here, but runners advance. We have runners second and third here with 2 outs.
Small ball. Need a small
here,
ball
totally
hit here.
fine. And I believe Pete Alonso should be up.
Intentional
the
walk, maybe?
polar bear.
big spot for Pete.
No, it
Take
might
the
be Jeff
lead right
McNeil,
here.
actually. I think
Real quick,
it might be McNeil.
before also adds, I would give Beatty, Vientos, and Alvarez
Vientos.
for Ohtani. I would only get Ohtani if he agrees to sign.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I mean, you make these
Yeah.
trade deadlines. I mean, Ohtani still goes to free agency at the
He's
end of
not
the
going to
season.
agree to sign. He's not going to agree to sign.
Yeah.
He wants to see if he can get 600 million or even more.
I know it's so tough. But like what I was saying, I mean, I would imagine. I mean, everyone knows he's not doing well. He has to know that.
Right.
I think there's going to be some type of mix-up. There's a lot of things to work on at the trade deadline for the Mets. A lot of improvements that can be made. A lot of guys out there you could bring in. So I'm excited to see what Epler does this trade deadline. Excuse me. But if he blows it again, if he does some ridiculous like Vogelback or Naquin-esque experiment with some
Tyler
mid-level,
Naquin, Tony.
low-level
Just a year
player.
ago, less than a year ago, I was
Literally,
tight.
like,
He was on fire.
I don't want to see some loser coming over from the Pirates and you're just hoping he does well. He has to make a big splash in this trade deadline if he wants to keep his job, and that's a fact, dude.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, and I know I just always tell you to sign former Yankees. Andujar just did get DFA'd. I'm telling you, a minor league deal. I told you to do it with Sanchez. You got a hit today.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to help you out. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man. I guess. I mean, you have nothing to lose signing a minor league deal.
Because don't you think he still could be good? Honestly, he
possibly,
can be on a team. Like he
I think
doesn't need to be
I think so.
in the minors.
be on a
but
team.
I mean, dude, he's not making it with Pittsburgh.
But it's the shuffling though. They set him up
Shuffling
and
around,
down.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
What are you swinging at, McNeil?
Yeah, that,
It
dude, that
was
was
literally
that was a tough
back-to-back
at bat.
cutters.
That was a tough at bat. Dude, those pitches were
So bad.
Oh my
Beaver is
God,
good.
bro.
Beaver is really good.
I mean, I know that there's movement, but that was way out of the zone, buddy.
What do you think of this entrance in the 5?
Fuck yeah, why not, dude? Amp him up.
God, stop.
Amp him up,
It's like-
dude.
Tony, last thing though, because I feel like you've been kind of hit and miss with Verlander. Overall, are you confident about him moving forward this season?
Yeah, I guess so. Again, the
What does it really
velocity,
sound like?
velocity's good. I mean, he's got good movement on his off-speed pitches. But again, it's another start here where we're seeing him give up a home run in the first inning. Yeah, again, the Mets, their pitchers still lead the NL in home runs given up. We got to cut that down. We have to cut that down.
Right.
No solo shots in the first inning. Like, guys, what do we? And again, like, pitchers come in, give up some hits in the first inning. Second inning, they strike out the side. And it's like, what did you do? Like, what didn't you do in pregame to be giving up a home run in the first inning?
Right.
Like, why aren't you warmed up? Why aren't you ready to go? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're a veteran pitcher. You should know better. You should know what your warm-up
Better.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And
Pissed me off.
This is really good baseball talk, I have to say, Tony, though. I mean, we have it every day.
Yeah.
Nice to have Matthew in the mix as well.
It's
Michael
always great.
for an occasional
Yeah.
bite.
I mean,
of
it's always
course.
great, especially to recap the weekend, too.
So much to talk about, including the world of the National Hockey League.
Let's go.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot.
Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan's skull. Oh my goodness.
Next to drop right back. Terrifying and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin.
It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
And Dean has something to say.
Oh, Dean, the owner of the Horseshoe,
Yes.
coming in here.
Okay, so are we talking hockey now?
Yes, we are.
All right. Now, we are Blackhawk fans, which is unfortunate in the Northeast.
Right.
This is my daughter, Mary.
Wow.
Nice to meet you.
Let's go!
Knowledge when it comes to hockey. So, what are we looking forward to this season with the Blackhawks? Connor Bedard.
Connor
You guys ever
Bedard.
hear?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
won the ping
scouts
pong
are saying
challenge
he's
there.
like better than Connor McDavid coming up and
Really?
being the first. Yeah, dude. Like they're expecting really big things, especially for a team like the Blackhawks, who obviously traded away Kane. Jonathan Taves seems to be at the door. I mean, you got a lot of problems over there in Chicago.
I
To
can
get
tell
that,
you there were a lot of tears in our house.
Oh, I bet.
With all that.
Right.
We had to get rid of it. All these guys.
Yeah.
But I will say, I mean, the Blackhawks certainly had their dynasty. I remember growing
Oh, my
up,
God.
and
Yeah.
Chicago out
Yeah.
of the West was just like almost every year.
Would you trade 3 for any of the bad seasons we've had? 3 Stanley Cups?
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, I wouldn't either. I mean,
It-
Corey Crawford, Kane, Taves,
Kane,
duo.
yeah.
It was
Panarin
great.
for a cup of coffee.
Panarin for a little bit too.
Panarin.
What's the thought,
Yeah.
though? Can Bedard play right away, or he's going to need a little time?
No. They said he's pretty ready.
Yeah.
day one.
Wow,
Dude,
that's exciting.
They're literally saying
He's
better
only
than
17,
McDavid. Like
Wow,
scouts that
that's
watched
insane.
him.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
17 ready to go.
Yeah.
We could trade them Capo Caco for him, right?
No. We're here to talk about the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
No, honestly, I mean, you got and the Blackhawks are so lucky to just be able to bounce back right away and have
Right
that
away.
pick and
that
that player.
foundational
It's
player.
going to be crazy to
Yeah.
see what he can do.
I don't know what Mary thinks about, but I think if we kept a couple that, if we had the Brickett or maybe a couple of the guys,
Mhm.
we'd be ready next year.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think we would have been first pick. I think
Yeah.
it would have changed it a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow,
How are you guys Blackhawks fans?
I was born out in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
and
I was
everything I asked
born-
Mary to watch.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Whatever.
Yeah, because
Runs in the
obviously,
She's, she's my son.
right.
That's
That's awesome.
So,
Chicago was a great city
So
too. I
cool.
went out there
It
once
is.
with my family, and again, I mean, you talk about obviously a lot of history,
Yeah.
and people who are prideful in their town and their sports teams too. Like it's
Wrigley's
so cool.
great.
listen, here's the deal. I left there when I was 5. So when I say I was born in Chicago, I was
That's like
born
Matt
out
with the New York City.
Yeah,
Yeah, Matt was in the Bronx.
He
till
was in the
3.
Bronx till he
I
was
was 3
3.
years old.
Oh,
So he's from New York City now.
He's returned to the Bronx a couple
But
times since
you
then.
played
Though.
the Yankees.
Exactly.
Yeah, so whatever. I did.
It's like birthright type of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few weird things in there. I'm an Orioles fan because my family's from Baltimore.
cool.
So just
That's
weird
cool.
Stuff. I'm all over the place.
It's all right.
But,
That's sports fandom. Right?
Yeah.
Is there
There's no
anybody
rules.
on the Blackhawks that's part of the future that can be a building block, or?
let's see.
I don't even know.
I don't really
Blackhawks.
think that it would be. I feel like we're gonna trade all these people out, but
If you had to
the
pick
Jones
one.
brothers, they've been pretty good. With Caleb coming up too, he's the younger one, so he's starting to get.
Wow, they have a family affair there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Right.
It's almost like the
but
Hughes
that's our
brothers.
story with Chicago, and it's whatever. The last time I was out in Chicago was for an anniversary about 15 years ago, 20 years ago.
I've never been, so.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
you guys gotta go.
You got to go out to
You
the
guys
game.
go to a game. Yeah, that's right.
If there's anybody out there listening who wants to send us tickets, out
Yeah.
I had tickets in the park to go to the game against the Bruins.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That would have
Wow.
been sweet. We should look up when to see they play the Rangers.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all can go.
So,
Yeah.
Maybe
that'd
we'll-
be true.
That would be
a
cool.
fun time.
I know some people out there. Maybe they'll set us up.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be
Perfect.
great. That'd be great.
Yeah, we can do a whole weekend. Do the
I know
sports
someone
board
with
out
the
there.
Devils. We could go to Prudential Center.
That'd be cool.
Stop it.
Wait,
Well,
who said they wanted to go there?
Oh, because I'm a Devils fan, so they hate on me.
My nephew's a Devils fan. I
Yeah.
thought they were going to do it this year.
Yeah, me
Oh my
too.
God, they had a great season again. Another
Better than the
team
Rangers.
so youthful.
Michael
Yeah,
Buck
yeah,
saying
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Strange playoffs this year.
Got farther.
I'm back to work.
All right.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you guys for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Go, Dean.
Yeah, get back to work.
Dean, thank you.
He's
That
the
was
man.
great.
Dean is the man
That was
with the
awesome.
plan.
Wow, Blackhawks fan.
Unbelievable.
You don't see that
right?
often.
That's so
it.
cool, dude. Again, but dude,
It's
huge
cool.
history in that
I mean,
team.
dude, did they three-peat? Or
Yeah.
They three-peat, right?
That 3 years in a row. No,
No, probably 3 and 5.
I think
Yeah,
it was
definitely 3 and 5.
So
Yeah.
they probably repeat. Didn't they repeat?
It was a back-to-back year
Yeah.
for sure. Yes,
Did they repeat?
I think there was a
Repeat,
repeat,
repeat?
dude.
Yeah, we'll look that up. I was just going to mention, we've had some exciting games here to start the conference finals. We have 2 series that are both 2-0. The exciting one, of course, the Panthers Hurricanes. The first game goes to 4 overtimes. Last night goes to a single overtime. And this Panthers team is on quite the run. We saw them barely get into the playoffs, but really turned a corner when they were down 3-1 against the Boston Bruins. Haven't looked back. And Matthew Tkachuk has been unbelievable since coming over in that offseason trade for Jonathan Huberdeau. You look at Bobrovsky, 37 saves last night. I mean, it just almost feels like, Tony, that the Panthers are like a team of destiny. Everything clicking at the right time. I mean, it's hard to feel confident that any team can beat them in a series.
Yeah, it really is ridiculous what they're putting on. Again, I mentioned how physical they're kind of coming into each of these series and what they've been playing and just how hard they've been hitting and just chasing after pucks. And because they're forecheck and because they've been so physical, they've just been winning these little puck battles along the boards.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, again, people call them lucky bounces or lucky goals. I'm a flied out, by the way, to right field. Kind of got me a little worried there.
Oh, there's some menace.
down,
I wonder if
dude.
you got a tribute video.
Yeah. But anyway, the Panthers, again, like I said, call it luck or whatever, but I am a firm believer in the fact that luck is the residue of design. The Panthers are putting themselves in the position to be lucky because they're working hard and they're gritting their teeth. You're getting phenomenal performances. You mentioned by Tkachuk, who had a goal on 4 shots there. Sam Bennett, who had an assist, 6 shots on goal. Of course, about Barkov, who had a goal as well. The other goal for the Panthers, who's just someone who you put the puck on the tip of his stick, and 90% of the time, I mean, he's scoring just because it's so accurate. It's ridiculous the corners he paints, and of course, the tough play by Verhaeghe, even Eric Stahl in this series too. You're getting a lot of forwards who kind of commit to defense. A lot of these forwards are getting block shots, clogging shooting lanes, really limiting the Hurricanes. I understand they had 39 shots, I believe, on goal. To mention Bobrovsky, Bobrovsky has been on his head, an absolute brick wall the entire postseason. I mean, it wasn't just a fluke against the Bruins. It wasn't just a fluke against the Maple Leafs. I mean, he is playing so well. Honestly, the best goaltending of his entire career, for sure, by far. And I mean, again, the Panthers they have that momentum. You'll get another overtime winner for them. We saw game 1 that went into quadruple overtime. That kind of levels the playing field. It definitely helps the Panthers to have the Hurricanes be that tired, to play that much hockey. Of course, it hinders both teams. But like I said, I think it evens the playing field for sure between both teams because, again, like all the teams the Panthers have faced this entire postseason, the Hurricanes are better on paper. They have more talent, pound for pound. They've had a better regular season. They have more veteran players. They've gone further most recently, in the postseason too. So, I just think, again, everything seems to be falling in place for the Florida Panthers, which anyone knows in any sport, any team, and in any postseason, it's really the matter of getting hot at the right time. And the Panthers are exactly that right now.
Yeah, and so are the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
They had a big 3-2 victory over the Stars today in overtime. Chandler Stevenson, the game winner. So the Knights go up 2-0. That would be a fun series, and I know you've been high on the Stars all season. Of course, they will get 2 games at home coming up, but do you feel like with a 2-0 lead here, it's going to be pretty tough to expect the Stars to win 4 out of 5 games to win the series?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, another overtime. That's both games have gone to overtime here.
Insane.
Just in this series alone, and same thing. Again, like we know about the Panthers and the Hurricane series too. Like,
the other one.
they've been an overtime.
Alonso, he just missed a home run
on the warning track. But again, the overtime games, it's been absolutely ridiculous. And of course, I mean, it just makes for great hockey. I've been having so much fun watching these games for teams that are, not even in my jurisdiction here, of course.
But imagine if the Rangers were playing.
I know. I mean, honestly, I would probably be sweating a lot more for sure.
But it would be so much fun.
The overtime, I know it would be.
Really?
I definitely would get a lot less worked up, let me tell you. But again, I think, I mentioned hugely coming into this series against Golden Knights, the Dallas Stars had one guy not showing up, and that was Jason Robertson. And so far in the first 2 games, he has 2 goals and 2 assists.
Right.
So he's been showing up. Unfortunately, I mean, the Golden Knights are just really outplaying the Dallas Stars right now, which is why it is going to be kind of hard. I know Hintz has had a decent series so far. I think having a goal and 2 assists so far in the first 2 games. I think Pavelski's had a goal as well. But again, looking over at the Golden Knights specifically, alone, stats here for today's game. They're 1 for 2 in the power play, holding Dallas to 1 for 3, which is pretty good for their penalty kill. Block shots, 13 block shots, 12 takeaways. So what they're doing pretty well is they're pressuring the Dallas Stars in the neutral zone, having them having a tough time entering the Dallas Stars offensive zone. And the Knights, because of that, are stealing pucks away, stealing possession. They're retaining the puck better than Dallas, which is probably where, Dallas is kind of falling here. And it's tough to see because obviously I thought Dallas would win this series, which I still think they have a chance here because, obviously we know the talent. But God, the Knights, HORSESHOE has been, again, talk about a tear for the postseason, coming in injured, off of injury, is great. Mark Stone's had a great postseason for them as well. And again, right now at this point, you can't say Golden Knights without mentioning Aiden Hill, their third-string goaltender, who had 26 saves and 28 shot attempts here. Again, for someone who hasn't seen a lot of hockey this entire season, to be performing like he is on one of the greatest stages of all for hockey, the postseason, it really is a true testament to that guy. And I think to the players around him. The Golden Knights are rallying around this guy. They're giving him the confidence to play well. The Golden Knights are a great, tightly knit team. You saw that from their inaugural season, where you had a ragtag group of guys who were almost like rejects from their team, where they were like, sure, the Knights can draft them. We don't really protect these guys, whatever. They all came together. They went to the Cup final, and most of them have been together ever since. And that's why they're able to rally around Hill and let him perform his game. So you got to tip your hat to the Knights. I still think it's a series. None of the Dallas Stars are quite out yet. You're just seeing the tip of the iceberg in Jason Robertson this postseason, I think. He's going to start, generating more offense, scoring some more goals, having some more assists, definitely getting more than just 2 shots on goal, surely. And again, I can't wait to see the game where you see Robertson and Rupert Hintz kind of hooking up constantly during the game. And of course, about Pavelski. He's one of those veterans who can just clean up plays, clean up the puck, find the back of the net in a dirty play. So I think although, the light may be dim, it's still possible for the Knights here. But just like we mentioned with the Panthers too, the Knights momentum game, they have momentum. That's why they're doing so well. As it looks like Vientos swung at a ball here to 1-1 count.
After it kind of singled. One last thing I wanted to say about that is congratulations to the Knights. You talk about an example of an expansive franchise, 4 conference finals in their first 5 years.
Unbelievable.
That's unprecedented. They got a great arena there in Vegas, and you'd imagine the fan base is going to keep building. More sports franchises are coming into town. Vegas is a place to be for a sports
NHL,
franchise.
dude, that's
Should
the
move
best.
there, dude.
They do maybe they do it the best with the expansion team.
Dude, they really do.
They're good
The
right away.
Kraken
The way they do
have
it.
had
Yep.
success, so
The Kraken was
that's
the second
great.
year.
This is their second
Yeah.
year. They make the
Yeah.
playoffs, so winning a 7-game
Yeah, I mean,
series.
second round,
in
it's
the
7
second
games.
round.
Yeah,
dude.
just hockey's just such a
One
great
thing
sport.
I would like to do before we wrap up here is to get Michael in the mix. So let's just go quickly to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
Not so much as the Lakers lost a tough one last night to go down 3-0. I believe, what is it, Michael? 0-149 teams down 3-0.
Yeah, it's not going to be, Cleveland Miracle.
Lakers have had a good
149.
I believe so. Lakers had a good run, but this Nuggets team, I mean, I'm impressed with Miami as an 8th seed to make it to this point, to be up 2-0 against Boston. But I have to say, this Nuggets team, I just don't think anybody can beat them. I mean, I could not be more impressed with the Denver Nuggets, Michael.
No, I'm super impressed with them, especially Jokic. Murray coming back off of injury from 2 seasons ago, was it?
3 seasons
That
ago in the
was
bubble.
3.
Remember,
Wow.
he tore it in the bubble.
Wow.
It's a bubble.
So-
Bruce Brown,
Stop.
15 points off the bench, by the
No,
way.
Jokic and Murray, the combo is
6 for
unbelievable.
11 from the
It's
field.
beautiful. I love
Yeah.
it. And they're
Never been like
dethroning
somebody in
LeBron.
basketball. God forbid.
But what do you think about what I said? I know you're a big with the Heat, though. Are you more impressed with the Nuggets or no?
No, the Heat.
Good question.
The culture, Riley,
8th
Spoelstra.
seed. No one thought anything.
Yeah. And they get game 3 tonight at home. It actually be tipping off in about 18 minutes here on TNT. Boston backs against the wall. Same situations that the Lakers were in last night, except they're on the road. What type of chance do you give them in this game?
So they're going to be providing the broom
Wow.
for the Heat.
Really?
100%.
Wow.
How crazy is it that Tyler Hero isn't around for all this, dude?
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. They don't need him because,
They don't need him.
as Jay says, they have Himmy.
They do. And I feel like the Celtics are just blowing it also.
The Celtics always fold late in the playoffs.
Right.
We talk about it all the time.
Yep.
They do.
It's because what's his name sold Doc Rivers. So
Ever
Celtics
since he
got-
left, Danny Ainge, 2 guys that were part of the Celtics
Yeah.
for a while.
Yep.
But I don't know. I do think the Miami's going to win this series, but I kind of think
It's on you.
that
That's okay.
the Celtics are going to win this game 3 just to get into this series. So they'll think. But then I can see the Heat winning game 4. I know you're saying sweep, but I don't know. I just think the Celtics are good. The Heat may be better, but I think the Celtics definitely have a good shot tonight.
No, I believe it.
Heat in
I
5,
believe
you mean.
that, but I just
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be sweet for me.
Wow. What do you think, Tony?
Honestly, if I had to guess, I mean, Boston's got to get at least one of these games, I'm sure.
And you would think it'd be tonight, make it a series instead of go down 3-0. Like,
right. Are we in the TD Garden?
No, we're in Miami. But we know Fairweather fans,
So-
they want to go to South Beach and not care about the game. Leave
Yeah,
the
I
game
don't know.
early.
I'm sure there's some good fans there showing up.
They're
Fans,
known
by the
as
way.
a weak fan.
Dude, I would like to see actually the attendance for game 2 of the Mets. Game 1, though, it was 39,995.
Wait, what was it?
39,995.
Is that
For game one?
a record high?
I don't know. For this season,
high.
probably. It's got to be a season high. Almost 40,000 fans. Yeah, dude, definitely.
They got to get on the Metro North route.
I know, dear. As there's a fly out to center field. Nimmo plays it perfectly for the second out here in the 5th inning. Verlander's still in the mound. by
Man,
the way.
Verlander's looking tough.
But I hope it's
He is looking very tough.
because
He's a very tough guy.
it looks like the Lakers are going to get swept. So I hope that the Celtics win tonight just to have some type of series. Because otherwise, 2 sweeps in the conference finals. I don't even know if that's ever happened, too. By the way,
That's
No,
what
I want it.
I don't
want
think
it.
so.
You want it?
Yeah.
You might
you
get it.
just I feel like you almost want to be a Heat fan now.
No.
What-
If the Knicks did a crazy contract, then yeah, I would have.
All right. I mean, we'll see what they do in the offseason. A lot of questions ahead. I guess Thibs is safe, but wouldn't he be fired by now or no?
Yeah, I guess he's safe this season.
Are you kind of tight though?
No, I don't know.
You can work around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hard hitting New Britain.
hard hitting. Oh,
Hey.
damn it, dude. Are you kidding me?
Salmon.
Not enough yoga.
We'll have to
Salmon, dude.
see what happens. But other than that, was there anything you guys wanted to mention before we wrapped up shop here?
In terms of sports?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think we covered really everything. That guy was
Everything
definitely
across the
safe,
board.
by the way. I definitely want to just say how
Not
much a
enough
good
yoga
good-
for the polar bear.
I just want to say seriously right here that this is just a phenomenal opportunity, I think, for sports support in general, and the Horseshoe. I mean, tremendous location here.
Love it
Great
here.
time talking sports with you guys, obviously every day, but on the in a remote location, it just makes it even more special.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Beautiful area, right by the beach, beautiful bar, the Horseshoe.
I mean, Southport's all right, I
Beautiful
guess.
fans, dude. What more can you ask for?
And next time we do it, we'll be able to have our video up here. We figured
Let's
out.
go.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Each week
Let's
improving
go,
here in the
dude.
Exactly.
Horseshoe.
This week was the PA.
Wow.
Next week will be the TV.
Yes.
As well as just improving in general, and a reminder also, people at home, tomorrow, Sports Port, we're off on
Yes.
Monday because the Yankees aren't
Tuesday
playing.
hot.
Tuesday coming in hot,
Very
Sports Port
hot.
screen time back to back.
Yes.
You know it, dude. So.
That's how you come in hot.
And of
Back-to-back.
course,
100%.
shout out to East Rock Brewing, New Haven, Connecticut.
East Rock Brewery
Yeah.
in New Haven.
Go.
Dean. Shout
Shout
out
out to Dean as
Dean.
well.
George Dean as well.
Shout out to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Let's go.
Great season coming up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, New Haven. We
Absolutely.
should go visit them. Why don't we? We should go visit.
Do we know
Like
what
a
the
city.
setup is there? Is there like an outdoor patio?
Really couldn't tell you, but I'm looking forward to find out.
Yeah.
Come on. I certainly want to, stretch out my breaches beyond two
Your
roads.
breach?
Yeah.
What, a
Stony
breach
Creek.
facility?
Stony is deep though.
It is deep, but it's a nice spot.
Am I gonna
though.
drive
It's deep,
35
dude.
minutes to get popped?
I mean, you would.
Why do you have to get popped? You can't just have a nice beer and have a good conversation?
Nah. It has to be.
Oh,
Plus,
my God.
they're gonna, wow, dude, they almost botched that.
Really, but they didn't.
I do
Oh,
have to
They
say
almost
though, this has been a great time. I really appreciate the Horseshoe having us. It's great having Matt here.
Yes.
Horseshoe debut.
Knock over
Good
your
having you in
mic.
the building.
Yep.
Everybody who joined us on the live broadcast and that's watching from home, we appreciate all the comments, the likes, the
The
subscriptions.
love.
You guys are the best.
Yeah.
You guys are a bloodline, right?
That's what they say, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, and keep commenting, keep liking, keep subscribing. Check out all of our archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume.
Wow.
All of the archives in terms of the old episodes of Sportsport, The Dream is Free, Screen Time, The Gaming Corner, all the vlogs, the Mighty Morphin Power Plumbers,
Wow, you got it
Tony.
right,
You
dude.
didn't think I was going to get it right?
Dude,
As
impressive.
well as the Yankee Stadium vlog that Matt did such a great job.
Yes.
The GoPro, such a great
we killed it.
day.
We killed it.
All the editing you guys did. So definitely, everybody check that out, as well as the merch at downtimetv.com. Spring is in the air. Jimmy Nance. We want everybody to enjoy the rest of their evening, and we will see you on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.